Welcome back to my garden. Today I want to talk about bugs because I've seen a lot of cucumber beetles, squash bugs, and a whole lot of eggs everywhere in the last week. So I've really had to take some measures and see how I can protect my plants because they're getting eaten. These bugs are taking over. So let's talk a little bit about what I've been doing. So I obviously had to figure out what all of this was when I started seeing it. I did let a squash vine borer float around a little bit too long because I mistakenly thought it was something else and let it live. So now it's like a race to find that before it really does something bad to my squash. I will say the pumpkins and the squash, my zucchini and my spaghetti squash, those have been the biggest things that have been getting attacked. Nothing else is really, I mean, my potatoes have some like potato beetles floating around them, but they're not really affecting it in the same way that the squash are getting attacked. So I've had to look things up. I found out that I have some squash bugs and some cucumber beetles, and they are everywhere. I've really done my best to keep my garden organic, and I haven't been using any pesticides or any, chemical things ever. I haven't. So I wanted to continue doing that as much as possible. A couple of things I looked into and bought before I even started gardening because I thought that I would have to have them, on the drop of a dime and didn't want to have to find a bug, try to find the solution, order it or go find it shopping, and then, have the bugs already eat my plants by the time I had the solution. So I did a little bit of this proactively. I got diatomaceous earth, so DE, or neem oil. Those were kind of going to be my two options. When I first saw the cucumber beetles, I started looking into it and wanted to use the neem oil. So I did already spray once in the evening, and when they were really bad, I sprayed at night and they went down the next day pretty significantly. So I think that worked. I'm going to do that again today because I'm seeing them a lot all over. And the squash bugs, I use the DE. And if you're unfamiliar, that this sounds so bad. It suffocates them. It breaks down their exoskeleton and basically just makes it so that they can't breathe and they suffocate and they die. So I was sprinkling that on the root of where the squash bugs were. The problem with using that is that this is right when my squash and zucchini and everything, they're all blooming, they're all flowering. So, I want to get those bees in here and I want to have some fruits come from these blossoms. And that's not going to happen if the DE is everywhere because the DE is going to do the same thing to the bees that it does to the squash bugs. So I was using that, I used it right before it was about to rain on purpose because I wanted to kind of kill off the squash bugs, but then have the rain come and wash it away for the next day. That seemed to work a little bit. What I found myself doing is sprinkling the DE on the bugs where I found them just to kind of disable them and disarm them a little bit. And then I grabbed them and put them in a bucket of water. Again, none of this sounds really humane, but I'm trying to protect what I'm growing here. So that's what I've been doing. It's been working all right. I still haven't found that squash vine borer again. I saw it, flying around my cucumbers and then flying around the squash, obviously. And it's funny because, so like I said, I looked it up and I can't remember what the name was, but it said it was something else. And I was watching it because I was like, what does this bug do? I saw it go right into the root of my pumpkin and start to shove its butt in it a little bit. And I was like, maybe I should look into that more. So then I looked up a picture of the squash vine borer, and sure enough, that's exactly what I was seeing. A little bit of red, a little bit of black. Yeah, so the few times I have seen it come up, I haven't been able to get it, but I'm still trying. So anyway, that's a little bit of what I've been doing for pest control. When I find the eggs, I've just been squeezing them off and putting those into water too, so they don't land somewhere else and then still hatch. But I swear I'm out here looking at these leaves every day, and every day I'm finding more eggs. So I'm not really being proactive as much as I'm just kind of reacting to what's here and hoping that I'm killing enough of these eggs that it'll slow down the problem a little bit. So yeah, that's kind of the bad news. It's been working a little bit. Again, I'm going to do the neem oil again tonight because I think that helped, and I'm definitely still seeing cucumber bugs or the cucumber beetles all over. But on the bright side, my plants are doing well. Got a couple zucchini getting ready. They're not huge, you know, they're getting there, but hopefully they'll be ready to pick soon. And the spaghetti squash is getting big. I put this post here just to give it something to climb up because it was kind of taking over all of this. And there's a lot of female blossoms on it. The problem is I haven't had a lot of male flowers open around the same time, so I don't know if they're getting fertilized. And this one, the blossom fell off, but it's still holding on there, so it might have gotten fertilized. I really hope it did, because I would love some summer squash or spaghetti squash. Then another thing that I did too, I have all of those yellow sticky papers from my indoor plants, and I put them out by the squashes to try to catch any of the cucumber beetles. I don't know that it's really working because, as you can see, they're still all over, but another effort to kind of do it without using so much, you know, chemicals and things on the garden, just doing it a little bit organically that way. Good things are definitely happening because I've seen a bee around here and he's finding all of the flowers and going around and pollinating lots of things. So I'm very happy to see that. I did self-pollinate the zucchini. I took a male flower when it had opened up, and there were a few female blossoms opened at that time. So I wasn't seeing a lot of bees. I wanted to get a win under my belt. I wanted a zucchini, so I self-pollinated it, which, you know, I see a lot of people doing it. I don't know if it's necessarily like a good or a bad thing. I would love to see what this garden does without my intervention on that part, like see how things are going. But I wanted the win. Here's the loofah that I transplanted over into the other tub. So it did look a little sad for the first couple days, but it bounced back. Definitely not as big as the ones that stayed, but that was expected. I'm just glad they seem to be making it so far. Well, I came out here to take a quick peek and then clean my car, and you know how that goes. Got very distracted, but I killed a bunch of bugs, got a bunch of eggs, so I'm gonna consider that a win. I'm also gonna try pickling some beets today because I've gotten quite a few from here. They got pretty big, and I thought that they were ready to take out, so I hope that was right. I'll show you. So they're pretty good size. Pulled a few out to pickle and see how we like them. Oh my God, shut up. That's the stupid vine borer. All right, I gotta get it. Tell me how I've come so close with an electric zapper and still can't get it. This is like my nemesis. I can't do this. I'll find him eventually. Anyway, while I keep hunting, thanks for coming and checking out this video. Thanks for checking in on the update of the garden and how I'm dealing with my bug situation. Give me a nice thumbs up if you want to vote Team Mary versus Team Squash Vine Boar. And subscribe if you want to see if I get it. But really see how everything in the garden is going. Hopefully we'll be harvesting some zucchini soon. So stay tuned. All right, bye.